Hey,
Hey, good morning.
good morning. Throw some headphones on. Take a seat. This is Emily. Emily, right?
Hi, yeah, Emily. Good morning.
Yeah, we're live on LinkedIn here, so say hi.
Cool. Hello, LinkedIn.
You're our neighbor here across the way, across the street at Promat, and you're with the American Logistics Aid Network,
Yes,
right? What is
American
that?
Logistics Aid Network. So we're a nonprofit and we
Hmm.
specialize in disaster relief using coordinated
Oh, very
logistics
nice.
solutions.
Yeah.
You can think of us as like a facilitator.
Mm.
So we're a nonprofit that serves other nonprofits by connecting them with businesses willing to donate transportation, warehousing, expertise, material
Oh
handling
wow.
equipment
Okay.
before, during, and after disasters.
Mm.
And the idea is to help facilitate disaster relief efforts using
Mm.
logistics,
Yeah.
get materials to the site of the disaster more efficiently, in a more cost effective manner,
Hmm.
to get them to the right place at the right time, serving the people who need it most.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So I mean, very impactful work, obviously, right?
Yeah,
And
very
I
important.
think, when a disaster happens, people don't necessarily think about all the infrastructure that's lost, and then all the infrastructure that needs to come into place in order to give people supplies, housing, temporary housing, things that they need, right? So tell us a little bit about how, I guess, when a disaster happens, like how do you kind of jump in and provide some relief and make things happen and do that coordination.
Yeah, definitely. So the way that we operate is in the event of a disaster, let's take
Hmm.
Hurricane Ian, for example,
Sure.
because that was huge last year.
Yeah.
Hurricane Ian hits Florida,
Hmm.
and there are a lot of nonprofits on the ground there,
Right.
working to get relief efforts underway.
Hmm.
One of which is a nonprofit called Operation Barbecue Relief.
Okay.
They're based in the Midwest, but they go to Florida, and they have a lot of products sitting out of state that they
Mm.
need moved to where they've set up their relief site.
Right.
So they go on our website and they reach out to us with a request, and they say, hey, there are
Mm.
X amount of um, these frozen fruit
Mm.
products sitting in a state that isn't Florida.
Right.
Can you find a donor to donate the transportation to
Mm.
move these supplies to
Mm.
Fort Myers, I believe they were based in?
Yeah.
And so then we say yes, and we reach out to our network, which is quite extensive.
Hmm.
And we say, hey, here's the information. This is where the product is. Can somebody donate the transportation?
Mm.
And we normally get back to you within 24 hours, and we look
Okay.
to have a solution within 72 hours.
Really.
And in the case of Operation Barbecue Relief, we had a lot of generous donors volunteer to donate the transportation,
Hmm.
and we got the product moved, and we facilitate
Yeah.
from start to finish.
Interesting, and that's fantastic. It's kind of close to home. My mother lives down there in Southwest Florida, and she was there for the whole
Is she okay?
whole thing. She was fine. She got like completely missed somehow. Like it went like right past her, I guess, the border, because she's in Bonita Springs, right between Fort Myers and Naples. So it was like she got really really lucky, but and she decided not to leave, which is another conversation. But uh, so it's great to hear you're able to do that. How are you able to uh, kind of mobilize these transportation companies? Because a lot of times too, I think we look at transportation and supply chain warehousing. A lot of people talk about capacity shortages and things like that. On such short notice, like it's such a great thing that you're able to rally these people and get them together. In the network, what are some of the companies you guys work with that help out and do these things?
Yeah. We have a very extensive network, and kind of what I'll say to the first part of your statement is you
Mm.
would be shocked at how generous the logistics and supply chain industry
Oh
is.
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
It is it's quite remarkable, actually.
Mhm.
So we have too many industry partners for me to list, but
Yeah.
I know I can tell you some here at Promat. ePicker recently donated an electric forklift to
Oh
one of our
nice. Okay.
nonprofits,
Yeah.
still doing hurricane and disaster relief.
Hmm.
SIVA
Mm.
Logistics is a very generous transportation donor of ours.
Yeah.
We work closely with Mahita,
Hmm.
and a lot of their partner organizations donate
Right.
logistic services to us and our nonprofits.
Hmm.
Uh, Gosh, there's too many to name.
No problem.
We Just worked with the UPS Foundation
Mm-hmm.
to move medical supplies to Miami, where one of our partners, Airlink, helped move them internationally to Haiti
Okay.
following the cholera outbreak there.
Yeah.
So we operate in the U.S. and internationally as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. And it's great to hear that, people from our industry are so generous and being able to help and support these relief efforts. I think it's such a great thing because, we are, as an industry, we're the people that make things move, right? So,
Exactly.
so when something really needs to be moved, we really need to make it happen. It's great that we can come together and do that. So we talked about the kind of the transportation side. I'm curious, from we're the new warehouse, right? So from like a warehouse perspective, when a disaster happens in an area, how do you kind of coordinate the storage of the supplies and like especially like if you're dealing with things that are perishable or need to be refrigerated, something like that. How does that get coordinated?
Yeah. So warehousing and transportation are two of our most common requests that we get.
Right.
So I just gave an example of a transportation donation, but let's pivot to warehousing.
Yeah.
In the aftermath of Ian, now all these supplies are coming into the state of Florida, and you have to have somewhere to put them.
Yeah.
So we had a nonprofit, Adventist Community Services, reach out and say, hey, can you find a company to donate warehouse space, for example? And so then we would once again go back out to our network and we would say, hey, we're looking for warehouse space for, I don't know, maybe the next 3 weeks, maybe the next 6 weeks, because we operate off of in-kind donations.
Right.
We're more than happy to work with what the organization is willing to provide and to donate. When it comes to frozen food, I know during Ian we worked with BJ's and C&S Wholesale Grocers.
Okay.
Because they loaned a frozen reefer trailer to help transport frozen food products. We just worked with U.S. Cold Storage.
Okay.
They are donating 8 months worth of frozen warehouse space to Operation Barbecue Relief to store frozen food products,
Very
frozen
nice.
pork.
Yeah.
So in the event of another hurricane, which it seems that hurricanes are inevitable now,
Yeah.
or another disaster, and this food is needed for that, it's being stored currently.
That's a great thing, and it's great that you guys are able to coordinate all those efforts. I'm curious, how did this nonprofit get started? Like, what's the story of the creation of it?
Yeah. So Alan was formed in 2005 in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina,
Okay.
when our founding members saw the devastation there and realized that very few people are aware of how costly the logistics services and the transportation of the goods are, and the storage of them. And just that the logistics community and the supply chain community has the capacity to do so much and the willingness to do so much, but they don't have a facilitator helping them understand where their resources can go.
Yeah.
So that was why Alan was founded.
Interesting, yeah, and it's interesting. You're touching on two places close to my heart, is like in Southwest Florida and also Katrina, where I have a lot of family at as well, and I did some relief work there doing Habitat for Humanity and stuff. So it's really great to be able to be a part of an industry that's so supportive of doing these relief efforts and helping out there, because like you said, it's kind of when you think about the disaster, there's that initial like I guess shock factor, right? And people can't believe it, and there's the well-being of people in terms of is everybody okay, what's going on, and then you start to think about like, well, disaster recovery takes a long time, right?
So long.
Especially you look at Katrina. It took forever to get things back to the way they were, and part of to do that, you need to bring these types of things in. So I'm curious too, like, how do you deal with logistical challenges when there's a disaster, and maybe like I know in the case of Hurricane Ian, like Sanibel Island, like you couldn't really get on the island like by roadway, like because the bridge like went out. So how do you guys kind of go against those challenges and figure out different access points to get to certain areas?
Yeah. So our operations team, and we also have a very extensive volunteer network, are all really seasoned industry professionals.
Okay.
So they have a lot of experience working with teams from both the destination site where a product is being moved from, or the origin site where a product is being moved from, and the destination site where the disaster has occurred. So, when you have a team of seasoned logistics professionals, they're quite adept at
They make it happen.
They make it happen.
Yeah.
We also have we have partners are constantly monitoring the situation. One of our partners is Everstream Analytics, and they have helped us develop a program called the Supply Chain Intelligence Center, which I encourage everyone to go. It's free to register, and it provides 24/7 updates of road changes, changes to air traffic and ports, you name it, during disasters, before disasters, after disasters, and real-time updates.
Okay. All right.
So even
yeah.
having the access to technology like that can be such a game changer.
Yeah. How can people find that? The Supply Chain Intelligence Center?
The Supply Chain Intelligence Center, yeah. So you go online to our website, allenaid.org, and you just click the tab that says Supply Chain Intelligence Center. And again, it's free to register, and it provides 24/7 updates, real time.
All right, very cool, and we'll definitely put that information out there for people to find it as well. If people are listening and they're interested in donating their services or their time to your cause, I mean, how can they do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, because we're a nonprofit, we operate entirely off of financial and in-kind donations. So if you're looking to become involved with us, go on our website, allenaid.org. If you are a company and you want to offer logistics services like warehousing, transportation, you can pre-register on our website. So you can say, hey, I'm this organization. This is what I have to offer, and you'll be in our system. So we could potentially have an open case right now that we might reach out to you for, or 6 months from now, if something happens and we get a new case, you're already in our system, and we can say, hey, 6 months ago, you offered these services to us. Would you like to collaborate?
Okay. All right. Really interesting. So, I mean, I think that's a smart thing too. You kind of have like a database you can tap on, and already like what the resources there are. So you're able to kind of pull those together in the minute and make it happen, right? So Emilee, really interesting to learn about the American Logistics Aid Network, and what do you call it, Allen Aid?
Yeah, you can just call us Allen. Our website is allenaid.org. But Allen for short.
All right, cool. So definitely appreciate you walking across the aisle here and telling us about this.
It's a fun journey.
Great. Yeah, it's a really great story and great things that you are doing, and definitely encourage people to check them out and donate if they can their resources, and I'll definitely be checking it out as well, and seeing what we can do. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
All right, so that was Emilee from Allen, American Logistics Aid Network, which provides aid and logistics services for those in disaster areas. So